The traditional education system often measures intelligence with a yardstick that only captures a fraction of the true spectrum of human capabilities. As Albert Einstein observed, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. Grades in this context can be more of a limitation than a reflection of true potential. Hi everyone, as you can see from the title, today we will talk about competency-based education, or shortly CBE. We will cover the limitations of grades in traditional classroom settings, define what CBE is, its key features, and the benefits of the approach. But before we move on, please subscribe to this channel and like the video so more people can see it. Well, we can't blindly say that grades are bad. Of course, the traditional grading system using percentages, scales, or letters to assess academic performance offers several advantages. It provides a standardized and universally recognized methods, making it easy for students to gauge their rank and set goals. Additionally, the percentage-based system facilitates comparison, helping admissions committees in evaluating readiness for a specific program and helping educators identify students who may need extra support. While grades have a purpose, they also have downsides. One big issue is that grading is kind of subjective. In subjects like English, where things aren't always clear-cut, different teachers might give different grades for the same work. Even though we use letter grades like A or B, there is no strict rule on what each grade means. So what one teacher sees as an A might be a B for another. Another problem is that grades don't really tell us much about what a student is actually learning. You might get an A, but it doesn't show if you really understand the topic or if you just did well on a particular assignment. This can be tricky because someone might be learning a lot but struggle to show it in a test or essay. It makes you wonder if grades are the best way to capture what students are truly getting out of their education. Besides knowledge measurement, there are also concerns about the impact of grades on students' learning and motivation. For example, in the 1980s and the 90s, educational psychologists conducted systematic studies on the effect of grades. The findings reveal three key conclusions. First, grades diminish interest. This means that when students focus on grades, their interest in the subject matter tends to decrease. A grading orientation is inversely related to a learning orientation, suggesting that an emphasis on grades negatively impacts intrinsic motivation. Second, grades create a tendency for students to choose the easiest tasks to ensure a good grade rather than taking intellectual risks. The fear of performing poorly becomes a significant factor in their decision making. And finally, reduced quality of thinking. The pursuit of grades may lead students to prioritize memorization over critical thinking. They are more likely to focus on what they need to know for a test rather than engaging deeply with the material. By the way, I will leave all the links for the articles I referred to in the description below if you want to dive deeper into the topic. So, one of the suggestions or recommendations is switching to competency-based education. In simple words, competency-based education, or CBE, is a modern way of doing higher education that focuses on what a student knows or will know and can do, rather than sticking to the usual system of classes or time spent in the classroom. Instead of following a set course schedule, CBE lets students use their past experiences, skills, and knowledge to finish a course, get a degree, or get the training they meet for their goals. CBE precisely outlines the learning objectives for students, taking into consideration their existing knowledge and skills. This feature makes it appealing to both for-profit and non-profit universities. In CBE, students' progress is evaluated based on the demonstration of mastery in a specific areas rather than the traditional method of tracking hours spent in the classroom. For those engaged in online CBE, the format offers even greater flexibility. Students can decide when to study, providing an advantage for incorporating education into busy schedules. Additionally, this flexibility enhances the likelihood of completing courses. Another advantage is the potential cost savings, as there are no additional expenses associated with maintaining physical classrooms. So what are the key features of CBE? The main feature most papers agree with is personalized learning paths. CBE customizes the learning process by focusing on what students can do and master after their learning experiences. This means evaluating success based on the skills and knowledge students gain. By using evidence of learning, educators can improve and adjust the learning components, aligning well with adaptive instructional approaches. This allows for personalized learning experiences that cater individual needs, ultimately enhancing the effectiveness of education. Second, authentic assessment. CBE focuses on making sure students really understand and can use what they learn. Instead of just memorizing facts, it's more about showing that you can apply what you know in real-life situations. So the assessment, tests, or tasks are more practical and hands-on, like solving real problems. This way, education becomes more about gaining useful skills that you can actually use in real world rather than just knowing a bunch of facts. Third, continuous feedback. In CBE, feedback plays a crucial role by providing students with ongoing and specific insights that guide their improvement. Instead of relying solely on traditional grading systems, CBE emphasizes a dynamic feedback loop that offers actionable information to students. It helps students see that learning is an ongoing process. It's not about being perfect from the start, it's about getting better over time, which results in developing a growth mindset. It's like when you are learning a new game or sport, you don't get everything right at first, but with feedback, you can improve and do better next time. This way, students learn not to be afraid of making mistakes because those mistakes are chances to learn and grow. And of course, we cannot avoid the topic of technology because technology plays a significant role in supporting and enhancing CBE. For example, learning management systems or LMS can facilitate implementation of CBE. LMS platforms offer personalized dashboards for each student, displaying their progress, completed competences, and upcoming tasks. This feature allow both students and instructors to have a clear overview of the learning journey. Integration of LMS can benefit data analysis. If different analytic tools are incorporated into the LMS platform, as an educator, you can analyze students' data such as learning patterns. From this insight, they can identify areas where students excel and the areas that may need additional attention. If you have anything to add for the role of LMS platforms, you can share them in the comment section. So let's discuss how CBE can benefit both students and educators. First, CBE encourages intrinsic motivation by allowing students to take ownership of their learning. When students are actively engaged in setting goals and monitoring their progress, they are more likely to develop a sense of responsibility and enthusiasm for their education. Second, constant improvement of instructional strategies, because CBE relies on data analytics such as tracking students' progress and the assessment of instructional strategies' effectiveness. Educators can make informed decisions based on various data data, allowing for targeted interventions and the improvements in the learning experience. Third, real-world application. CBE often incorporates practical, real-world applications of knowledge. This connection to real-life scenarios enhances the relevance of learning and prepares students with the skills they need in professional and the everyday situations. This is just a quick list of the benefits that the CBE offers. In reality, the advantages extend further. If you have any other ideas, you can also write them in the comment section. That's it for today. If you want to learn more about CBE, I will leave links to interesting articles and the cases in the description box. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next videos.